This person loves you, but has a serious problem with your appearance. My beloved child, don't skip this. Something deep is unfolding, and by the time you reach the end, you'll see what's been hidden behind every silent glance, every trembling word, and every late-night thought you couldn't explain. Stay till the end, because what you're about to discover could change the entire meaning of the love story you thought you understood. They stare at you longer than anyone else, but when you catch them, they look away too fast, as if you've seen something they're not ready to admit. This person adores your soul, but there's a storm inside them, a storm that whispers they're not worthy of someone like you. They love you, yet they flinch at your light because it reminds them of their own shadows. Don't skip. Don't move. Just listen. Every word from their mouth lately has carried a weight you can't name. They speak softly, but their eyes tell a different truth, one that struggles between admiration and fear. Your beauty doesn't repel them, it overwhelms them. They think your presence exposes their flaws, as if being next to you makes them invisible in comparison. But here's the hidden reality: what they call problem with your appearance is not disgust, it's intimidation. You represent everything they wish they were, and that reflection both fascinates and hurts them. Each time you smile, they remember their insecurities. Each time you walk away, they promise themselves they'll get better, stronger, more deserving, yet somehow, they never do. They love you with an ache that burns quietly, pretending indifference while dying to be seen by you. Stay till the end, because this is where it shifts. Last night, they told someone, "I can't stop thinking about them, but I feel small when they're around." It wasn't about your looks being wrong, it was about your light being too right. Their pride can't handle how your glow exposes their fears. Archangel Michael says, "The mirror you carry is not a curse, it's a calling. You were sent to show them the truth they've been avoiding. You were never meant to dim yourself to make them comfortable. Instead, your presence is the fire that burns their illusions away. They'll distance themselves soon, claiming they need space. You'll feel that sting in your chest, the silence after the call that never came. But remember this, they're not leaving because you're too much, they're leaving because they can't yet face what they see in you. Behind closed doors, they replay every moment you laughed, every time you touched their hand, and they question why they hesitated. Love is still there, raw, frightened, and alive. They wish they could tell you that your beauty feels like truth, and truth, to them, is terrifying. Don't skip now. Something huge is coming. Soon, they'll realize the only way to heal their fear is to stand in front of you again. And when they do, you'll see a different look in their eyes, not shame, but surrender. Not envy, but admiration. They'll finally say what they've buried for so long. They love you. They always did. The problem was never your appearance, it was the reflection of their own self-worth that couldn't match yours. And now, the universe is orchestrating a moment that will force them to face it. A moment that changes everything. My beloved child, don't move. What's about to unfold next is not just a story, it's a moment that will make your heart pause. Stay till the end, because this is the night their silence finally breaks. They've been watching you in places you don't even notice: the way you fix your hair, the way your eyes search for peace in a crowded room. Each time, their chest tightens, not from rejection, but from a strange guilt that grows deeper every time they fall for you again. Their problem was never what you looked like. It was what your presence made them feel, raw, exposed, and human. They see a version of themselves reflected in you that they thought they buried long ago. And that's what terrifies them. Don't skip this part, because it's the truth they've been swallowing for months. They tell people they just admire you, but at night, they whisper your name like a secret they can't control. Your image haunts them not because of your flaws, but because you remind them of everything they've lost in themselves. They remember the day you smiled without knowing they were looking. That one simple expression pierced through the armor they'd built for years. Since then, they've been trapped in a war, between wanting to hold you and fearing you'll see the parts of them they still can't love. They've been avoiding mirrors, because every reflection mocks them with the same question: why would someone like you love someone like me? That's not a complaint, that's a confession they're too afraid to say out loud. Archangel Michael says, this connection was never meant to be comfortable. It was meant to be transformative. You are the mirror through which they will find redemption. Your love is not the wound, it's the cure that scares them to death. Tonight, their thoughts are louder than ever. They keep replaying that one moment when your eyes met and time stood still. In that silence, something sacred passed between you, something words will never explain. They tried to forget you. They tried to distract themselves with noise, faces, and fleeting attention. But no matter what they do, they end up circling back to your memory. It's like their soul keeps dragging them to the same doorway, the one that leads back to you. Stay till the end, because the clock is ticking toward the confession they can no longer bury. They're standing on the edge of a decision that could change everything. They're finally realizing that the problem was never your appearance, it was their inability to accept that someone so radiant could love someone so imperfect. And soon, you'll receive that message. It won't be long or poetic. It will be trembling and raw, like a heart learning to speak for the first time. I never hated how you look, it will say. I hated that I thought I wasn't good enough to stand beside you. They'll admit it, the reason they kept their distance, the reason they hesitated to touch your hand, was because they were terrified of what they'd feel if they did. Because the moment they hold you, they know there's no going back. Don't skip. Don't blink. You're about to see them transform before your eyes. That hesitation you once mistook for rejection will become a confession. That silence will become a promise. And when they finally stand in front of you again, you'll notice something different. Their eyes won't look away this time. They'll meet yours and hold, steady, trembling, alive. Because love, no matter how broken, always finds its way back to truth. Stay till the end, because the ending you've been praying for isn't far away now. The fear is fading. The love remains. And what they'll say next will be something you'll remember for the rest of your life. My beloved child, take a deep breath. What's about to unfold is the moment everything shifts. Don't skip, because this is where the heart that once hid behind pride finally speaks its truth. The night is quiet, but the air is heavy. They've been pacing their room for hours, replaying every memory, every word they wish they'd said differently. The clock ticks past midnight, and still, their mind whispers your name like a sacred vow. They finally pick up their phone. Their hands tremble, their pulse races. Every part of them screams not to do it, but their soul pushes forward. Because love, no matter how scared, always finds the courage to return home. They type your name in the chat box and freeze. The screen glows softly, reflecting the tears they've been hiding for months. One single message stands between them and the peace they've been chasing. Can I see you? That's all it says. No explanation, no apology, just the raw need to stand in your presence again. The message is short, but it carries years of unsaid emotion. You read it, and something inside you stirs. You feel the weight of every unfinished moment, every silence that ever hurt. Yet beneath the ache, there's something stronger, the pull of destiny that refuses to let go. Don't skip. This is the part where the universe aligns. You agree to meet, unsure of what to expect, but your heart already knows this meeting isn't random. It's divine timing, finally unfolding. When they arrive, their eyes find you instantly. For a moment, neither of you speak. The world goes silent, no sounds, no movement, just two souls recognizing what words can't explain. They take a step closer, voice trembling. You look different. You smile faintly, knowing they don't mean your outfit or your face. They mean your energy, the calm glow that's replaced the confusion. I need to tell you something, they whisper. I thought I had a problem with how you look. But the truth is, I had a problem with how I felt when I looked at you. You made me feel unworthy, not because you made me, but because I didn't know how to love myself. Their confession spills out like a river that's been dammed too long. Every word carries both pain and release. You listen, silent, but your heart aches in recognition. You've always felt their love, buried beneath hesitation. They continue, voice cracking. I used to think you were too perfect. Too radiant. Every time I looked at you, I saw everything I wasn't. But now I realize, you weren't trying to outshine me. You were just being yourself, and I was afraid of the light. Tears gather in your eyes, not from pain, but from the overwhelming truth of it all. Because finally, you see them not as the one who hurt you, but as someone who was hurting themselves. Archangel Michael says, love built on truth is the only love that survives. The angels never wanted you to change to be loved, they wanted them to change to be ready for it. And now, that shift is happening. They step closer. Their hand shakes as it reaches for yours, the same hand that once pulled away. I love you, they whisper. I always did. I just didn't love me enough to believe you could. The silence afterward is pure and golden. No need for promises, no need for explanations. Just a quiet understanding that everything broken can still be beautiful again. Don't skip. Stay till the end, because this is not just the return of a person, it's the awakening of a love that was never gone, only waiting for the right time to bloom. You both stand there, eyes locked, as if the entire world has faded away. The pain dissolves. The fear melts. What remains is something eternal, the kind of love that no insecurity can destroy. This isn't about appearance anymore. It's about acceptance. It's about two souls finally choosing truth over fear, love over illusion. And in that sacred moment, you realize, the person who once doubted your light now finds their healing in it. Stay till the end, because what comes next will surprise even the heavens. The confession was only the beginning. The real miracle starts when they prove it with every breath that follows. My beloved child, don't move now. The story isn't ending, it's unfolding into something you never imagined. Stay till the end, because this is where love turns into redemption, and every wound begins to heal in slow, glowing silence. After the confession, the air feels different. It's softer now, as if the angels themselves pause to watch this moment unfold. You can almost feel Archangel Michael standing close, guiding both hearts through the fragile doorway of truth. They stand in front of you, still trembling. Every second feels sacred, heavy with everything left unsaid. Their eyes search your face, not for flaws this time, but for forgiveness. You don't speak immediately. You just breathe, slowly, deeply, feeling the weight of their honesty wrap around you. You've waited so long to hear those words, but now that they're real, you realize they were never about winning or losing, they were about seeing the truth. Do you still love me? They ask softly. The question isn't about romance, it's about redemption. It's about whether love can exist after fear, after pride, after distance. You step closer, your voice low but steady. I never stopped. I just stopped waiting for you to see it. And in that single sentence, their heart breaks open completely. Don't skip, because this is the moment that changes everything. The tears they once hid now fall freely. Every layer of pride, every wall of insecurity, begins to dissolve. They finally let themselves be seen, fully human, fully real. They whisper, I used to think your beauty was the problem. But now I see it was my blindness. The words shake in the air, fragile yet powerful. You take their hand, the same hand that once pulled away, and this time, it doesn't let go. The world outside continues, unaware of what's happening here. But in this small space between two hearts, eternity is unfolding. You can feel it, the quiet hum of something divine stitching together what was torn apart. Archangel Michael says, this love was chosen long before your paths crossed. It was written not for perfection, but for transformation. Through your pain, you taught each other how to see beyond appearances, into the soul that never ages, never fades. They pull you close, forehead against yours, eyes closed as if afraid to wake up. I'm sorry for every time I made you feel less, they whisper. You were never too much. I was just too afraid. And then something unspoken passes between you, forgiveness, acceptance, and peace. It feels like the kind of silence that heals, not hides. You realize now that love was never about beauty, it was about truth. Stay till the end, because what happens next is powerful. The energy between you shifts completely, no longer heavy with guilt, but light with promise. The same eyes that once judged now admire, the same lips that once hesitated now speak only gratitude. The next day, everything looks brighter. Even the sunlight feels different. They walk beside you now, no longer behind or ahead. They match your pace, step by step, heart by heart. Their gaze lingers on you, but this time it isn't discomfort. It's awe. They finally see you not through the lens of insecurity, but through the clarity of love that has matured through pain. Archangel Michael says, what once felt like rejection was divine preparation. You weren't meant to be loved by someone who hadn't learned to love themselves first. Now that they have, your union becomes something heaven can finally bless. You both sit quietly under the fading evening sky. No grand speeches, no dramatic gestures, just stillness, peace, and the soft sound of two souls finally in rhythm again. The hurt has transformed into harmony. The doubt has turned into devotion. Don't skip. Because this is where heaven smiles. Everything you endured wasn't to break you, it was to prepare both hearts for this balance, this truth, this rare kind of love that's no longer afraid of the light. They look at you and say, you didn't just change how I see you. You changed how I see myself. And that's when you realize the miracle wasn't that they loved you, it's that your love helped them finally love themselves. Stay till the end, because the next part will show what happens when love like this becomes unshakable, when both hearts rise together, ready to face the world with courage, no longer chained by fear, but led by light. My beloved child, stay here. Don't skip. What happens now will make your heart race and your soul tremble, because this is where love steps out of hiding and dares to face the world. Morning breaks with quiet strength. The sky is soft, painted in gold and blue, as if even heaven is proud of what just happened between you two. You wake up lighter, knowing something deep has shifted, a peace you haven't felt in years now hums through your chest. They text you early, before sunrise. Can I see you again? The words are simple, but behind them is a vow, a promise that what began as fear has now turned into courage. You smile, not out of surprise, but out of recognition. You always knew this moment would come. When you meet again, they're different. There's a calm fire in their eyes, no more hesitation, no more shame. For the first time, they look at you like they finally believe they deserve to. They reach for your hand, not trembling this time, but steady, strong. I'm ready, they say. Not just to love you, but to protect this love. Even if people stare. Even if they talk. The way they speak now, it carries power, the kind that comes only after surviving one's own demons. You nod, and your eyes fill with warmth. You've seen this person's soul in its darkest hours, now, you're watching it bloom in light. There's something sacred in that transformation, something only love could create. Don't skip. Stay till the end, because this next part will touch you deeply. The two of you walk through the streets together, where whispers used to follow you. Those whispers haven't stopped, but they no longer have power. Someone passes by, glancing at you both. For a split second, you see the old insecurity flicker in their eyes, that familiar tension. But instead of shrinking, they tighten their grip on your hand. Let them look, they whisper. They don't know what we had to go through to get here. Archangel Michael says, true love isn't proven in silence, it's proven in storms. And you both have walked through one and made it out whole. Now, even the heavens lean in to watch how your love glows against judgment. Later that evening, you sit together in a small cafe. They're quieter now, watching the light from the window paint your face in gold. Do you know, they say softly, I used to hate mirrors. I couldn't stand the sight of myself. But now, when I see myself next to you, I see hope. You smile, not because you're flattered, but because you finally understand. You were never meant to change them. You were meant to remind them who they are. Love didn't fix them, it revealed them. Don't move. This part matters. The people around start to notice the energy between you two, calm, unshaken, magnetic. They whisper, but it doesn't matter anymore. Because when love becomes truth, opinions become noise. The world that once judged your difference now watches in awe. The love that was once hidden behind fear now stands tall, not to prove anything, but to live freely. You both laugh, realizing that the war inside them was never against your appearance. It was against their reflection. Archangel Michael says, appearance fades, but presence remains. You were never loved for how you looked, you were loved for how your soul made theirs feel alive again. That's the beauty that never ages. As night falls, you walk again under the same sky where all your tears once fell. But this time, those tears aren't from pain, they're from peace. You've both found what countless hearts spend lifetimes searching for, a love that sees beyond the surface, beyond the scars, beyond the world's shallow eyes. They turn to you one last time and say, "You taught me that real beauty isn't about being seen. It's about being understood." You don't need to reply. Your silence says everything: forgiveness, gratitude, eternity. Don't skip now. This is the calm after the storm, the proof that love built on truth never dies. You both walk away together, hand in hand, ready for the next chapter, one written not in fear, but in faith. The same world that once doubted you will soon see what heaven already knows. When love rises from brokenness, it becomes unshakable. It becomes divine. And tonight, under that vast sky, two souls finally understand what it means to be free.